Hi everyone, it's the 4-Gun Guy, and today I wanted to talk to you about muzzle brakes. Now I'm only going to be looking at two muzzle brakes because those are the two that I've purchased. The first one was an Area 419 Sidewinder, and that came on my new rifle. And I used that for about a year. A great muzzle brake, love it. Then I was talking to some guys and they mentioned the American Precision Arms Fat Bastard, their newer muzzle brake. Now, I like this muzzle brake for a couple of reasons as well, so I purchased it, and I've run it on the gun for a little while. But what I wanted to do here is talk about what a muzzle brake is, why we might want to use them, and I know you know that probably already, but we'll just go over it briefly. I wanted to look at the mounting and removal comparison between these two muzzle brakes. And again, if you've seen my other videos, it's not that I'm pushing these products, it's just these are things that you'll want to consider when you start looking at things like a muzzle brake for your PRS rifle. Then we'll look at, I wanted to go out to the range and mount them on the rifle and then see if we could detect differences in the muzzle rise. And then we'll have some final thoughts. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Well, let's discuss what a muzzle brake does. It's a pretty simple concept, right? It's really designed to reduce the recoil and to some extent the muzzle rise of the rifle, pistol, or shotgun that it's attached to. So the way this is accomplished is by these ports that are on the muzzle brake. The Sidewinder has 4, the Fat Bastard has 5. And so if we just talk about the ports for right now, if I stick my pencil in here, this one's kind of goes straight through. This one I can't, it's angled back a little bit. This one's angled even a little more, it looks like, and this one is about the same as the second one. So what happens is as the gases come up the barrel, the bullet is leaving the barrel past the muzzle brake, right? The expanding gases hit this muzzle brake, and as if you didn't have this on here, right, the gases would just explode outward. But with this on there, as the bullet's passing this point right here, there's some combustion behind it, all those gases, and they're starting to be forced out of this first port. As the bullet moves past the second port, same thing, third port, same thing, and so on. So by the time you get to the end of the barrel, much of the gases, hopefully, have been expelled outward. And since these ports are facing kind of back, angled back, that gas is coming back. And so it's pulling, basically, your rifle forward, right? Which is reducing the recoil. That's how you're reducing the recoil. Now, what APA did on the Fat Bastard is they went one step further and they actually put some ports on the top of the muzzle brake. So as those gases come through here, they're not only coming out the side, they're porting out the top, and their contention is that that is going to actually help you with your muzzle rise. So this setup here, this design is really the recoil. This design is designed for both the recoil and the muzzle rise. So that's all I wanted to go over. So let's look at these two and see how they stack up. Well, let's start with the Sidewinder first. Now, basically it's a two-piece muzzle brake, and this is known as a self-timing muzzle brake. So once I put this base on and I tighten this down, then I'm going to take this piece, which is the brake itself, I'm going to bring it on here, and I'm going to start tightening this down. Now, it's counterintuitive because you're screwing it the wrong way. But what happens is you hit kind of a break there in this threading, and then once it's on, it's on. I love that about this brake. And I'll tell you what else I love about this, is if I'm out in the field and I'm cleaning, right, my rifle, let's say I'm doing some lands testing or ladder testing rather, and I'm cleaning, you know, every 30, 40 rounds, you know, rough cleaning, I can just take this off. It's very easy. I can take it off, by hand, and that's what I love about this. So once I break this, you'll see this. See, it's kind of tight right here. Now it just broke, and that's it. And now I can clean my rifle. Now, some things that I've heard about this, and it is true, there is some carbon buildup on the crown of the barrel because there's not a super tight seal between this and the crown. But I've noticed that with this APA as well. So I don't know what the big deal about that is. Let's look at the APA now. Well, the APA is a two-piece as well. It's just a little different on how this is fitting on here. So, you know, the first time I really tried to mount this thing, it was kind of a pain in the neck. But it's gotten better over time. So basically what we're doing is we're bringing this all the way down. And they call this a self-timing muzzle brake too, but I'm not seeing that, but whatever. And then what we're doing is we're kind of backing this nut off. And what happens is it puts pressure on this muzzle brake. Now, the nice thing about this is, as I said before, is you've got these ports on the top. I will tell you the tricky thing for this one though is getting these aligned with the top or vertically with your barrel. And I will tell you right up front, this muzzle brake does not like to stay tightened on my barrel. I've had other guys say, oh, mine's tightened all the time. Even with blue lock, with a little blue lock, because I want to take this off to clean it. You can see it's a little dirty there. I need to clean it, as a matter of fact. But even with a little blue lock, this thing has still been coming loose on me. So, you know, that's kind of part of the cons. I just wanted to talk about both of these from a installation and uninstallation standpoint. I go with the Sidewinder. I just love the ease of putting this on and taking it off. I love the fact that if I just want to take the brake itself off, I can still leave the base tightly coupled to the barrel. And I really like that. This has never come loose on me, whereas this one does seem to come loose. So let's get out to the range and look at these things side by side, see how they operate. All right, well look, I didn't use fancy sleds or anything like that for this. It was a very simple experiment, right? I decided to just put that tape measure up there so I get an idea of the measurement of things. And you know, when I did each one of these firings, I really didn't hold on to the rifle. I made sure it was against kind of near my shoulder. And then I made sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere if it did, you know, kind of kick up. But then I literally just pulled the trigger with my index finger. I didn't have a grip on the rifle. like you usually would. I didn't do any of that. And what are we seeing here? Well, it looks to me like they're pretty similar. There was not, a huge difference between these two. And I have to tell you that just using both of these muzzle brakes, the Sidewinder to me feels like it reduces the recoil just a little better. It's just a feeling, and I can't really explain it. But someone else may, use the fat bastard and say, look, I think that does a better job. So with that said, it looks like we've got kind of a tie here. And again, that's a 23-pound rifle. So I didn't expect a big difference in the muzzle rise anyway, and I don't think we really saw that. They both were about 1/16 of an inch. In fact, that shot 2 on the fat bastard was a little higher, but who knows what that might have been. So let's get back to final thoughts. Well, after the comparison, I have to say that I'm going to stick with the Sidewinder. And let me tell you why. Number one, I didn't notice that much or any difference in the muzzle rise between these two. Part of that was because they're both mounted on a 23-pound rifle. So there's not a whole lot that this thing has a lot of weight to it when I fire it. I will tell you that with both of these muzzle brakes on there, I was literally just keeping the butt kind of back into me, and I was doing this with the trigger. So I didn't have my hand on the rifle. I was just pulling the trigger back. And I will tell you, with both these muzzle brakes, I was putting center mass on a 500-yard target that way. So, they both did a good job in that respect. But as far as the muzzle rise goes, I didn't see where these holes made any difference at all for this rifle. The other thing is, as far as the recoil management is concerned, I have to say, I thought that with 5 ports, this might provide a little better recoil management, but the Sidewinder was actually a little better, in my opinion. I was up the range about 3 weeks ago. My buddy Jeff was up there. His rifle has an APA on it. Another gentleman that we shoot with, who is in the pro range, has the same caliber rifle as Jeff, and he has the Sidewinder on it. And he sat them side by side, shot about 3 or 4 rounds through both, and he said he did not notice a difference in muzzle rise, and he felt that the Sidewinder's recoil management was a bit better, just a bit better. Ease of on and off, side goes to the Sidewinder. It just does, right? I can just unscrew this out in the field, take this brake off. The foundation piece stays on there, so when I clean it, I'm cleaning through that. I don't have to have the brake on there, and then I can just screw the brake back on. I love that feature about this muzzle brake. The other thing is, this is a true self-timing muzzle brake, right? When you put this on here and you screw this locking mechanism down, it's timed. I don't have to look at it and go, is this timed or not? It is timed. This muzzle brake, not so much. And I don't know if they're calling this self-timing or not. They shouldn't if they do, because once you put this on here, if you line these holes up, and then you torque this locking bolt down, it torques it over a bit. So now you're off center. So now you have to kind of bring this back off center. So you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a pain in the neck, to be honest with you, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Plus, this didn't stay on the barrel. It wouldn't stay on my rifle. It came loose probably after 30, 40 shots, 20 shots. The first stage of a match I had a few weeks ago when I was trying this, after I had already sent a couple hundred rounds through and retightened it, first stage of the match, this thing came loose. So I just took it off, put that on. I'm glad I brought that with me. Put that on, I shot the rest of the match with the Sidewinder. So I'm not saying it's a bad product. I'm just saying it didn't work on my rifle. And other guys have had the issue of it not coming off, being on too tight, as I said earlier. So with all that said, I did contact APA. They did say to use a little blue Loctite, which I did, and it didn't really work. So I contacted them again and said, you know, is there a refund policy, return policy, a partial refund, whatever, because it's within the 30 days. And I haven't heard back from them, and that was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. All I can say is I'm sticking with the Sidewinder, very happy with Area 419 stuff, and I think I'll stick with that and them. So, hey, thanks again, everybody. I hope you got a little bit out of this. And again, it was really for you to think about some things in a muzzle brake. It's not that I'm pushing the Sidewinder or the Fat Bastard Gen 3. It's just some things to think about when you're looking at these for your rifle. So thanks for the comments, the likes, the subscriptions. I really appreciate it all. And until next time, shoot straight.